Dundee from Australia. How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Just came down for a couple of days. Probably see you around.
Bye.
Despite fighting a few world wars together and hosting a bunch of their air bases, in the early 1980s, most Americans probably couldn't point to Australia on a map, and if they did, they probably pointed to that similar-sounding country in Europe Arnold Schwarzenegger comes from. That all changed in 1986 when Paul Hogan and John Cornell released Crocodile Dundee. Cultural historians like to talk about our filmmakers from the 1970s being our new wave and a renaissance of international recognition for our filmmaking, but they were really just talking about critics and intellectuals in the big cities. The fact is that we hadn't really had an Australian film before Croc Dundee to have anything near its worldwide cultural and financial impact. Maybe Mad Max. It made $46 million at the Australian box office, probably about $130 million in today's money. Nobody does that anymore. It made $175 million at the North American box office, probably $500 million today. That's Disney or Marvel kind of income. It kick-started Hollywood careers for plenty of its participants. 2 sequel films, one great, one not. Australia made Paul Hogan a cultural ambassador to the world. Suddenly the whole world was saying they'd throw another shrimp on the barbie for us. They still say it, and Australians don't even use that term. Hogan had already had a successful television career in Australia, sketch comedy series, talk shows. He's a former painter whose larrikin humour really hit the right note with Australian audiences who, up until that point, had really just been fed a steady diet of Benny Hill and the Two Ronnies. Crocodile Dundee is a fish-out-of-water story that takes a crafty bloke from the Aussie outback to New York. Mick Dundee's wry sarcasm isn't too far from Paul Hogan's own personality, which is half the reason for its success in Australia.
Got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.